Dalvin Cook, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. He's a grinder, 81 yards per game. Alex Madison came on, the former Boise State running back, 462 yards on 100 attempts. 1 touchdown. Mike Boone got 3 touchdowns at the end of the year. They have Amir Abdullah in there somewhere. They can catch passes out of the backfield. The receivers, the Vikings have a dynamic set of receivers. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen. Kyle Rudolph as a tight end came on late. Laquan Treadwell, in terms of the body he possesses, could be a good receiver. He's a former first-round draft pick. But Thielen only played in 10 games this year, 30 receptions, 418 yards, his lowest of his career. Stephon Diggs came back, had a great year. After really almost asking to be traded earlier in the year. Those 3 guys each have 6 touchdowns this year. Olabisi Johnson out of Colorado State, who's a rookie. Oh, lost my page. He has a couple touchdowns. Defense, the Vikings, gets after Danielle Hunter, Everson Griffin, Ifandio Bingo, Jaleel Johnson, Linval Joseph. It's a tough front 4, front 7 if you add in Anthony Barr and the rest of the linebacking crew, Eric Kendricks. That's a good front 7, and then Harrison Smith in the back. You have 2 cornerbacks in Xavier Rhodes and Andrew Sendejo and Trey Waynes. And, I mean, if several cornerbacks, it's a defense that has a lot of good names on it. They don't get targeted a lot. In terms of ranks on defense, they're 14th in yards, 5th in points. So they force turnovers. It's an average passing defense. It's an average, it's a league average defense. Mike Zimmer's a really good head coach, so I trust them more. This game is not going to be close. I have the Saints are going to blow out the Vikings in this game. I'll take the Saints minus 7.5. I'll take the over 49. I think the Saints will probably beat them 35, or let's go 45-10, I think is what the score will be. The last game, another NFC game, Seahawks at Eagles. Seahawks 11-5. Eagles are 9-7. The Eagles were able to secure a home game the last couple weeks of the season, fighting off the fact that they just have no receivers. No receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles are active right now. We got Dallas Goedert. Zach Ertz is limited in practice, so he might be back. Nelson Aguilar did not practice. Miles Sanders did not practice, which is concerning if you're an Eagles fan. But it's got to be one of those things where everything that's happened this year, you're just happy to be in the playoffs. You have a home game. You should really just be happy to be there, considering everything that's gone on this year. Goedert's come on as a really good pass-catching tight end. Miles Sanders has come on as a do-it-all guy. 500 yards receiving, 800 yards rushing. Found Greg Ward, former Houston quarterback, 28 receptions, 254 yards. He's been good. Boston Scott, former Louisiana Tech running back, has come on recently. Josh Perkins. I mean, they've had to go down and find these guys so they could fill out an offensive roster. Then you look at the receiver. Look at who's hurt for them right now. Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Nelson Aguilar, Darren Sproles, Corey Clement. On the defense side, Derek Barnett, Jalen Mills, Ronald Darby, Sidney Jones. Fletcher Cox is limited in practice. The offense, Brandon Brooks on the injured reserve. Lane Johnson is limited. Jordan Malita is on the injured reserve. a team that's been just ravished by injuries. I think it's one of the best coaching jobs of the year by Doug Peterson to get him in the playoffs. 14th overall defense, 10th overall defense, 14th overall offense. Zach Ertz had an MVP caliber year. Despite all this, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 4,000 yards. Threw a touchdown in every game this year. Won their last 4 games of the season to get into the playoffs at 9-7. So more power to them. They beat the Giants in overtime. They beat the Redskins. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Giants again. That's 4 division games that you had to win coming down the stretch. Yeah, the Eagles are in the playoffs, and that's about all they're going to get. Because the Seattle Seahawks came a yard short of having win the division, having a first-round bye. Losing to the 49ers at home. The Seahawks are actually 7-1 on the road this year. Russell Wilson had an MVP caliber year, 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Tyler Lockett was his main target, 1,000 yards, 82 receptions, 8 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, the rookie, big guy out of Ole Miss, 58 receptions, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. They've cycled through a couple tight ends, a couple receivers. In terms of running backs right now, their guys are Travis Homer from Miami and a man that a lot of people know very well in Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch played his first game this year after only playing 6 games last year in Oakland. Came on last week for a touchdown. If they don't take a delay of game, he probably scores 2 touchdowns and they win the game. Defense has continued to just stick around. They don't have anybody over 5 sacks. Raheem Green leads the team with 4. But they have 3 guys with 3 interceptions: Trey Flowers, KJ Wright, Quandre Diggs. They do a good job of not giving up big plays. That's thanks to guys like Bobby Wagner, Shaquille Griffin, Michael Kendricks, KJ Wright. It's a defense that ranks 26th in the league, also plays a lot better than that ranking, if that makes sense. They can turn the opponent over. It always seemed like watching the game against the 49ers, it seemed like they made stops when they had to. Which, you look at the numbers, are league average on third down percentage on defense and offense. They'll win this game on the power of having Russell Wilson. I'm very confident in the Seahawks. So we got Seahawks minus 1.5. The line is 45.5. I think the Seahawks are going to cover that line easily. I don't think it's going to be a close game. Probably about, I think, a 2-score game. It'll go over 45. Because I think Russell Wilson's going to have his way with an injured Eagles secondary. But yeah, in conclusion, it will be the Texans going to play the Ravens in Baltimore. Actually, no, I messed that up. It'll be the Bills going to play the Ravens in Baltimore. It'll be the Patriots going to play the Chiefs in Kansas City. It'll be the Saints going to play the Packers in Green Bay. And it'll be the Seahawks going to play the 49ers in San Francisco. Those are 4 games I can really get excited for. I mean, Patriots-Chiefs has been a great game every time they've played. Same with Seahawks-49ers, which is probably the best rivalry in pro football at this point, considering how much the games have meant this decade. And then Saints-Packers, where you have 2 of the best quarterbacks of all time going at it in the twilight of their careers. A lot of dynamic players around them. So, yeah, I'm very, very excited for this week, for the rest of this year in football. And thank you guys for listening. We're going to try to get some more stuff out next week. We're trying to get back to 1 a week, just as my schedule allows. But, yeah, thank you very much. Playoff preview. We'll hopefully get some equipment and get some people on. Thank you very much. Have a good Thursday. Happy New Year. Let's get 2020 started off with a bang.
virgin from hell. Oh, sand in our eyes and descended like flies. Put us back on the train. Yeah. Back on the chain gang. To live like we do, bring me to my knees when I see what they've done to you. But I'll die as I stand here today, knowing that deep in my heart they'll fall to ruin one